Hello everyone, my name is Fernelle, and today I will be presenting Dr. Marzano's 41 Key Strategies for Effective Teaching. Now I can show you a graphic organizer with all 41 key strategies. I can also show you two more graphic organizers with all 41 strategies organized into responses for 9 questions and into 3 lesson segments. Instead, I'd like to incorporate all 41 strategies in my presentation in a fun, meaningful, and interesting way that I hope will help you understand and remember everything you've learned. Hence, I'd like to share a story with you, how Dr. Marzano's 41 key strategies saved the day. Once upon a time, there was a teacher. All of the students loved this teacher because she was fun, caring, and fair. Her classroom was a place where learning was exciting and appealed to the cool things students were interested in. Students were commonly engaged in academic games, friendly debates, show and tell, or some other type of lively physical activity. All students engaged in activities and answered questions at their highest potential, regardless of their abilities, disabilities, or expectancy levels. Sometimes the students got carried away. Wait, not literally. They got emotionally carried away when they were having too much fun. But this teacher had wickedness. The students swore that she had eyes in the back of her head because she always knew when someone was doing something against the rules or procedures and would see to it that they stopped or received appropriate consequences. She valued everyone and ensured that they reciprocated this care for each other during routine events while the lessons were enacted on the spot. Unfortunately, the teacher had a problem. On top of her usual workload of educating and assessing students, she was informed at the end of the school day that the next morning her principal would be coming into her classroom to monitor her lessons and evaluate her. This worried the teacher. She had very little time to prepare, but wanted to make a good impression on the principal. She worried that her lessons planned for the next day would not be good enough. I know, she thought. I'll use Dr. Marzano's strategies when addressing content. I already used his strategies for lessons enacted on the spot and those involving routine events, so for tomorrow, I'll use a checklist to ensure I cover all of his addressing content strategies. The next day, the teacher welcomed the class and reminded them of the classroom rules and routines. She wanted them to make sure they were on their best behavior and raising their hands to ask and answer questions, especially since the principal would be watching them when he came in. She explained that she had moved some of their desks around to ensure that she could easily walk to them in a few steps and to minimize their disturbance of each other. They all agreed that the new classroom layout would help them to see the board better too. I will be handing your mind maps back to you. Please note that your grades are attached and based on the rubrics that have been posted on the board all week. You each received one with your assignments. If you fulfilled the requirements of a level 1, then you earned 1 point. However, if you worked hard and fulfilled the requirements of a level 6, then you earned 6 points. As always, I am tracking your progress, and all of those who received the level 6 have been entered into the daily drawing for a prize from the class treasure chest. Congratulations to you all. As the principal walked in and sat down, the teacher nervously exhaled. Then she took a deep breath and smiled. She would be using Dr. Marzano's strategies, so she knew she would be able to effectively teach her class today. As the morning progressed, the teacher led her students through an array of content experiences in which they previewed and processed new information in digestible bites. To elaborate, they read a short play in which they learned about similes and metaphors. Then, with the teacher's guidance, they took notes and got to create their own scripts using similes and metaphors. Then they got to combine, reenact, or even wrap their scripts in small pre-selected groups. This practice helped deepen their knowledge. Finally, the class audience members had to review and compare similarities and differences between each group's presentation. If there were any groups who made errors in their reasoning of what a simile or metaphor was, they were guided by the teacher while correcting it. For homework, everyone was tasked to create 3 similes or metaphors about themselves or someone at home. The results would be used to generate hypotheses and tests within their groups the following day. The students had a blast while learning. They understood new literary devices, presented their own examples, and learned from their teacher and classmates' presentations as well. The principal loved the lessons and the ways in which the teacher engaged students using all 41 of Dr. Marzano's strategies for effective teaching. Yes, he knew about them too, just like we all now know as well. The teacher received a stellar evaluation report and went on to teach many more lessons and even create her very first video presentation. This is it, and she sincerely hopes you all enjoyed and learned from watching it. The end.